All right. Welcome to week 24 of the Agentuity weekly demos. We got some really awesome demos today. We got a few people out. Seems like every week we have someone out. I thought we're a startup, Rick. We're not supposed to let people take vacation. I don't know what's going on here.
That's because they're still working, though. That's the thing.
They better be. They better be working. They better be on their phones doing some deving or something. All right. We're going to kick today off with Pedro. Take us away, Pedro.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, so this week I've been working on email outbound. What that means is that you can tell the agent to basically send whatever payload to the email for things like maybe newsletters or you want to review something, anything really. I'm not showing the screen. 1 second. Oh, 1 second. Hold on a second. Having technical issues. There we go. All right, share. Okay. So I'm going to show you, I just created a very simple agent, very similar to the one that I had earlier. I'm going to show you how to set up the basics. So I create a new IO, you just do email, set up this one. So I'm going to do my own, actually no. This is the email that I want to send it from. So I'm going to do blogs at volando.com. This is the subject, this is the to. So the agent is going to send it to this guy, right? Now, the actual sending of the email takes maybe a minute or two. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to do the demo, and then I'm going to let Jeff explain how to set up your own domains, which is pretty cool. So let me just copy this, go to my terminal, paste it over here, and that's going to send it. I'm on a slow Wi-Fi, that's why. Okay, so now the webhook is being processed, the agent is doing its thing, and eventually I'm going to get an email with the content of this. So this is basically, I'm going to review a blog post, and then I'm going to decide whether I want to publish it or not. Very simple. So let me pass it to Jeff so he can explain the DNS stuff.
Okay, do you want to go to the DNS screen and let's review that? So there's a new screen here. Today we have to activate this for you. There'll be a new tile that'll show up and it'll say needs attention initially. We are hoping in the next couple of weeks, we've been working with our email service provider to be able to make this fully automated, but we're pretty close to being able to make that fully automated. Today, you need to reach out to us if you want to have your agents have their own custom email on your domain for replies. So when we activate it, you'll be able to come in here. It'll say needs attention, and he's already set it up, but if you can go to the settings, I'll explain. So what we'll do is we'll give you 3 records to put in your DNS. The first one's an MTA record. You'll point it to our server. That'll give us permission to the email service provider to be able to send email from our mail servers, but using your domain. The second one is just a DKIM public key. So again, just another security thing related to email sending to prevent spam. And then the last one is an SPF record. Sender Policy Framework is what SPF stands for. If you're familiar with that, that just kind of gives, again, the email service providers will look up that record, validate that we as the sender of the email from your agent are allowed to send on your behalf. That's what that's basically saying. And so once you do this, there'll be a button. You don't see it here because you've already done the validation, but there'll be a little check button or verify. Once the DNS records are verified, then it'll allow you to actually send from your domain. We also have, we didn't really mention it here in Pedro, but we also rolled out the ability when you do the reply from let's say you get an inbound email and you just want to immediately reply to that email. You can also use your own email address in that one as well. So it's not just on the outbound IO, it's also on the inbound replies as well. You can also use that. So
yeah, and also you can also do here like no reply. If you have an inbound, you can use that inbound email as the outbound as well.
And then Pedro, what happens if you don't have your own outbound email domain set up? What does it do?
So yeah, you don't have this line. So if you don't have outbound, it's just a no reply, and this always works. So
that would be the default.
If you send something to reply, it's gonna bounce, but at least that person is gonna get it.
And what happens if you have an email inbound for your agent and then set up an outbound?
Yeah. So I'm gonna set up. So this is the email that you are gonna be sending data to the agent. Once you have that, It shouldn't take this long.
That's slow Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'm on a slow Wi-Fi. Okay,
That's what
so
happens when you're in Spain.
yeah, I'm actually from my phone right now because I'm at anyway. Email. So now we have this one. So
Okay.
actually, there's a little bug. I gotta remove this, but yes. So
Okay.
anyway, while Jeff was talking, I actually got the email. I don't know if you guys saw the notification up here. So this is the email that I got. Okay, I still gotta fix some things.
We're not
But
seeing it.
You're not seeing it?
We're only seeing your we're only
you're
seeing your browser screen. I think you only shared your browser screen. Oh,
I'm sorry. Let me share the entire window.
yeah, we want to see some of your juicy emails from Rick telling you to do certain things.
Anyway, oh, that's too bad because I had the notification up here. Anyway, so I just got this email just a couple minutes ago. Now, it's not, obviously, this is from testing, right? But what's interesting about this email is that in the code, you do response HTML. So internally, it knows if this is going to be HTML, text, even an image. So you can send whatever you want. Just make sure that you put it inside of this method. This could be JSON, it could be text, it could be any. We have a lot of things here. So
what happens if you send like a PDF? What would happen?
It would send us an attachment.
Awesome.
So you get the ability to.
That's awesome. So if you send it as like text, it'll be text. If you send it HTML, it'll be HTML. Oh,
Yes.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we're parsing all of that internally for you. So anyway,
that's really nice. Good job.
My demo. All right. Who's next? Bobby.
Bobby.
Hello. Okay, so I have been working on preview environments for all of your agents. So here we go.
And welcome back, Bobby. He's been gone for a few weeks with a baby. So that's the other thing he delivered. That's his other product he's created in the last few weeks.
Thank you. I appreciate the welcome back. So here's my test. This is just a test project here for the preview branches. And what I have is just an agent that's going to respond with hello world from production. So let's just come over here and hit that like normal. And you can see you get back the hello world from production. So let's switch to my preview branch here. One. Here's the pre-arb. Here I've changed the message, as you can see. So let's just say live demo. Press save, and we're going to this. And that. And message. Push that up. And we're going to go look at my PR. We can see a deployment's been kicked off. You can see a little bit of a spoiler. But once it's done deploying, it will comment on the GitHub PR. And we'll hit that in just a second. This is a placeholder right now because I'm not done with this feature. But what this comment will contain is all your different IOs and how you address those different IOs in this preview environment. So there's going to be like a specific email that you'll need to email to and a URL that you'll hit for the webhook or for the API, etc. So here we go. It's just saw that that was done. So let's go check that out over in the dashboard. And you'll see that there's a new deployment from 1 minute ago that's not active, meaning it's not that production URL. So how we do this, right, is we're going to steal this tag right here. And we're going to come back over to our terminal. And at the end of this, we're going to add the hash and cross our fingers and hope this works. Live demo, look at that.
Woohoo! That's badass.
So
awesome. So that means you can test your agent prior to going live. Awesome.
Exactly. And then let's just hit the production one just to test that everything's fine there. Yeah, so like you're saying, so if you had if you're using Agentuity agent in part of your critical infrastructure, you can test changes on a secluded deployment. So you can ensure that they're working how you want them to before you roll that out.
So I need it.
Well, can we have it? Let's
tomorrow.
Let's say
hey,
Wednesday.
Man, two more days left in the week, man. So you should be able to get done before the end of the week, right?
Hey, that's true. Yeah.
Pedro, Pedro, you work here. You can have it today. Just grab his branch. Just run off
Absolutely.
his
Just
branch.
finish it up.
That's true.
Yeah, you guys are funny.
So I'm going to hand it over to Joel. What have you been working on?
Hey guys, thanks Bobby. I've been working on our CRM agent and specifically within that our clerk agent. So let me share my screen to show that. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen now. So here we have my clerk agent. And so I have like a bunch of tools that I created right now. This is before we started the integration of Composio. So we have here my prompt. So this is a prompt that we feed into my agent that really tells it what it needs to do, what type of tools it can use for adding things to ADIO and getting information, updating stuff within ADIO. So in here we have dev mode open. So this is where I'm testing my agent. And right now, for example, we would get something from Clerk when a user is created or when an organization is created or an organization is updated. So those are different types of webhooks that we can get from Clerk. So here is one example one for a user when they're created. So we're going to plug that in here. And this is for when a user is created and we have their org. So this is like the company they might work at, and it's going to update and create it in ADIO. So I'm just going to run it. Going to wait a little bit.
While we're waiting, can you like X that Google thing on the right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we can see it better. Oh, perfect.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so here it's just updated. It's just true. So we go over here, go to people. This is just a little like our test environment that me, Nick, and Dylan are creating our stuff in, as you probably saw from last week. So I'm just going to do this. And here, as we have our new person that has been updated, so we have Talia Grant, and this is their user ID and the company they work at. And here it is updated. Let's see. Yep, right here. So this is where their org is currently. So let's say that they create an organization within Agentuity. So this is the webhook that we receive. So I'm going to put that in here.
You need Jeopardy music or something in the UI when it's doing that. Ding, 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 ding.
A little something, yeah. Let's see. So right here we have an organization, so the organization name, and then the organization ID that we get from the webhook. And then let's take a look. And also in the code, we have like our little judge. So this judge is deciding which tool. So our LM decides what tools we want to use, and our judge basically verifies it or denies it. So as we see here, we have multiple iterations of that. And yep, and then let's try creating another user within that same organization. And this is within that same Syncora, which is a made-up company. So, yep. Just waiting for that to run. And then we have here, should be updated. I don't know why. ADIO always gets rid of the filter every single time you switch out. So, yep. And then we have
if you're watching this, please fix that.
Please fix that. And then let's create another organization. So this is what we're going to see here is when multiple people of the same company create an organization, we want to keep track of that so that when it comes to billing, when people order credits and all that stuff, we can all track it per company. So that's pretty useful if you want to track that information. So let's see here. I'm just going to take a few seconds. And then here. Go back to companies. And then here, let's see. Where are they? Yeah, right here. So we saved it in a string because ADIO, once again, they don't let us store stuff in arrays. So if you guys are watching that, please fix that. So right here, I have like a little delimiter that separates the companies. So we have two different companies. And let's say one person within their org wants to change the name of their company. So this is going to be like an organization updated. What type of webhook? So let's run that. So as we see here, these are the This is like the two previous names, but as we got the update, you saw that it changed over here.
Yep.
So these are all things that we want to incorporate within our agent, so that when you guys have Clerk or anything set up, it's easily can update your ADIO and help you guys with your CRM management. So right now we're still working on the Composio part. I know Nick is gonna demo that soon, so he's gonna show a little bit of what we've been working on. But we're trying to get Composio into this and to overall just make it very agnostic to whatever platform you're using, whether that be like ADIO, Salesforce, HubSpot, provides all those different things. So yeah,
This is awesome.
I got a question. It's very cool. On the LLM as a judge thing, where it's deciding which tools based on the plan, is there a reason why you had to do it for the read only stuff too? Because I noticed the ones that it used were read, and it was judging those. Is it because it doesn't pick the right tools for even read operations?
It's because
I'm just curious.
Yeah, so we just put that thing in just for when we actually set up with Composio, where the tools are very vague. So we're just trying to set it up for when we actually start integrating Composio. These are more like, we do have a bunch of different functions and different tools that we kind of have that we know it's not gonna like kind of mess up at the current moment. But when we start integrating with Composio, as we've been, I know Nick and Dylan can relate to this, but we definitely have when it's been calling the wrong tool when it doesn't need to, and that's been causing us tons of issues recently. So having that judge is really helpful, and we kind of just wanted to integrate that before we actually started with Composio, just so we got like dip our toes into that.
Cool. And what model are you using for the tool calling stuff?
Let me take a look. So currently for Composio, we're using Anthropic 3.7. So yeah.
And question on the tools. So like, when you go to make the second or third iteration of the tool call, do you tell it to remove the previous tool that you used?
We kind of just store it in an array and then have it kind of keep track of all the previous tool calls. So that's kind of what we're doing.
So you could get into a scenario where it chooses the same tool 3 times. The wrong tool, I mean.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, for before the Composio integration, no, not right now. But with Composio, it does call the same tool multiple times, even when it doesn't need to. So we're trying to find a workaround.
Could you tell in the prompt on the subsequent iterations, exclude these tools or remove the tools from the prompt?
That's something that we can try. I know when I've been telling it not to use the same tool, it still calls it because
does it.
In Composio they have their own prompt for each tool. And that's something that you can't actually change within Composio. And that's been causing us tons of issues. So.
A separate question, and this is hypothetical, so if you don't know, that's fine. Would the tool judging, which is kind of cool actually, would the tool judging solve a problem if I had a lot of tools? Because you have a kind of a limit on the number of tools you can use, at least before the LLM starts to hallucinate.
To be honest, I'm not too sure about that. Unless Nick or Dylan, you guys like that.
Yeah, I can speak a little bit on that. So recently I was running into an issue where the schema that ADIO's API expects, there's multiple ways that you can search by email address. You can search with a string, or you can search with arrays. And so sometimes the LLM will generate something that isn't correct, and so having the judge and then passing that back, it'll tell it why it was wrong, and then it'll try again with a new schema. So that has happened. It's gone through a couple times, and then eventually it finds the right one and then continues.
Oh, nice. That's really cool.
Yeah, and with that off, I'll pass it to Nick.
Thank you. So here, let me share my screen. So in our first iteration, as we've been talking about, we created the tools and functions with ADIO. So here you can see we're hitting the API. We had different, very specific functions for everything. But now in version 2, or switching over to Composio. So it's very easy to get the tools that they provide. It's this one line. You just specify the toolkit. So this will make it easy to switch to another CRM if you know Salesforce or something, just with their name. And then so the flow is pretty much the same as it was before. You get a webhook, and then it will choose from one of the tools, and then the judge will get the allowed tools and proposed tools, and then it will approve or reject. And so the thing that we're doing right now is, before it was kind of the tools were very complicated. They do a bunch of different steps. So, and we gave fewer tools to the LLM, but now in this next iteration, we're giving the LLM a lot more tools and a lot more agency. So the prompt is a little bit more complex, explaining kind of when to use what tool and what things we want to do. So I'll show you a little demo. This is just a sample webhook that I'll put in. It takes a little bit, but we can see the thinking. So each time it will talk about a little what tool it uses and why it uses it. So this one, it's looking up the person that was in the webhook, gets the response here, and then it will try to find the company that person that was also included in the webhook. And with those, it got the record IDs, and now it's going to try to hopefully, create a new deal with that company. So we got a webhook from a new person. Their lead status is changed, and so we want to create a new, record for them. So, and then at the end, this is kind of more just for development, but it talks about what it does. And so we can see that, this just appeared now. So this is something that we were able to do before, and now just kind of going through the flow of migrating it over. But it does open up a lot for, easy switching of providers and stuff. So,
so theoretically, just to repeat that, then when we get all this done, we should be able to open source this, and then you should be able to say, instead of ADIO, I want to use HubSpot or I want to use Salesforce, and it's just a config change.
Yeah, that would be ideal. That's kind of what we're working towards.
Cool.
Yeah. But that is it for me. So I'll pass it over to Partik.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. So this week, I also worked on Composio. I wanted to test out a research agent that I could trigger via SMS, and wanted to see if I could use Notion to, or Composio to actually get Notion to add a page and store a report. So let me go ahead and share my screen and show that. Alrighty, so I'll start by just showing the Notion page that I have set up. So it's a blank slate. We're just going to see if this demo can work live. And just as a background, Notion or Composio has a bunch of Notion integrations. So you can add content to a page, fetch data. So there's a ton of stuff. But for us, what we're going to do is just create a new page. So it'll be added as a subpage in here. And then we'll add our report that we create. So I'm going to text my agent right now and ask it to tell me about feature launches and just stuff related to AI agents and code editors. So I'm going to spin that up. And while that's off and running, let me walk you through a little bit of the code. So I've got my run function here. So we trigger it via SMS, as I said. And we're just going to grab the body from the text message and then send that off to the search web function, which is going to use Tavili, the Tavili API. And then it's got some logging there. It'll create a report for us. So I'm just using 4.0 Mini and the Agentivity AI Gateway to actually create that report. And then we're just going to deliver it to Notion. And this is going to create the page, do a little bit of extra error logging, things like that. So in terms of the search function, Tavili is actually pretty cool. You can set a bunch of different parameters. So for example, if you know what topic you're going to want. So in this case, if I'm asking for feature releases and recent launches, that's going to be news related. So you can set the topic, set how deep you want the research to go, how many results you want, how many days out your query should go. But once we do that, we're just calling the search function with those parameters and then doing a little bit of error logging, but then just collecting all those sources, which we'll send off to actually create a report. But in terms of the Composio stuff, there's a two-step process here. So the first step is just creating the empty Notion page. So basically just other than all the logging, here's where we actually do that. And ignore the run and executor stuff, because that was when I was trying to use LangChain. But the main idea is just you can set a specific action and then just send it your user ID so it knows like where your Notion account is. But we just create that empty page. And then down here, we actually send data. So we add content to that Notion page. And you got to do it in 200 or 2000 character limits because of how the Notion API handles input. But we're just going to create blocks, so chunks of data, and then just append these blocks using this append block children tool. Yeah, other than like the logging, that's pretty much all you need to get a research report sent to Notion via Composio. So I think I've stalled for enough. Let's see if this worked. So as you can see, we got a new report in here. And there's no like nice formatting for right now, but as you can see, it'll find some up-to-date information. Tavili's pretty good at doing that. So OpenAI just launched their agent stuff. So got some information on that. Got a detailed breakdown. Kind of cuts off there because I think I've got some issues with my chunking, but yeah, it also like assigns a relevance score. So Tavili has that built in, and it's like an extra sanity check just to make sure that what you're finding is actually accurate. So pretty interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What would be cool too is like if I could either SMS or email the agent, kind of playing off a little bit of what Pedro did, have it go off and do research and either send me a Slack or send me a Discord or so even an email that I could pull it up on my phone with a PDF of the report would be really, or an HTML page of the report would be really cool. Because then I could just do it on the fly. You'd be out like at lunch and be like, oh, did you do it? And it'd just come back to me when it's ready. It's
Exactly.
really cool.
Yeah. Gonna definitely explore like how I can integrate Slack or like Reddit or something in the future. So yeah,
Cool.
keep an eye out for future demo days for that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll pass it over to Rick.
All right, my turn. Okay. So a bunch of stuff I worked on this week, but I think the one thing I'll demo. All right, I was at a restaurant and they have this brand new POS and you order at the table. Ever since COVID, like everybody's done this, right? Just order at the table. And it works pretty well. It's quick. Except I knew exactly what I wanted. And it still took me like 4 minutes to order it and get it in and all that. And it's like, I just like the waitress was right there. I'm like, can I just tell you my order? I use the system. So I used it and it's a typical click. No, back. I'm like, I just want to tell it what I want. And I know an agent would be perfect with us. And we're not in the age of chatbots from 10 years ago. Like it's just, it would knock it out if it had access. So what it did was I got home and I told Claude Code, I pointed it to the website. And I'm like, make a menu based on this, put it in a JSON file. And then I made an agent just to like solve the problem. I want all the restaurants to have this. So anyway, I'll show you what I did. Share my screen.
We're pivoting to a restaurant agent company. Is that what you're telling us?
Yes.
Congrats. We've got a CRM agent for restaurants that does your menu ordering.
So I'm going to run both these servers. So there's a Next.js app, which I'll show you here in a minute. And of course, Agent 2D agent that manages the.
Someone's going to steal your idea. So be careful.
That's fine. I want them to steal the idea, please, so I can have a better experience. All right. So here's the, let me hide the little dev tool thing that Next throws up. Hide, go away. Okay, cool. So this is pretty much what I got, right? You all have seen this before, and you go and you click on add cart, add cart, add cart, right? So I added this, and like literally this is the experience I was looking for. I want a mahi sandwich, no onions, with water. That's it. Like that's literally all I wanted to tell the waitress. And so this was all live. This isn't dummy data. Like this is it took the JSON thing, and you saw what it just did, right? I'm done. I'm literally done. I just want to confirm it, right? Confirm the order, and you can pay. Boom, right there. And they have all this. Like it was really cool. You could pay on your phone and all that. You go to any airport restaurant, right? They have it. But the point is, like, that's quick. You see how quick that was? That's what I want. And I mean, you can, what's neat is, let me just refresh it. Because it's agentic, again, it's not like programmatic, deterministic chatbots or deterministic flows. You could be like, watch this. I want a mahi sandwich. Oh, sides and drink. Okay. What kind of sides? And you can just kind of go on. What kind of sides do you have? And what's
Well,
the drink?
ask it. What are
What
my
kind
options?
of
Yeah.
drinks? Finding the perfect items. It says.
Perfect items. Look at that.
Boom. And again, this is all from the data. So yeah, I want the Arnold Palmer too. So there, it added the sandwich, Arnold Palmer, good to go, right? Would you like any sides, right? Well, what kind of sides you have? So you just kind of go on and on and on with it. So it's just simple, it's easy, and it's open source. So we'll put it somewhere. We're working on this directory, like showroom of all the stuff that we've done, and so it'll be on that. But it's open source, and you get the Next.js app, and that it's a great way to start. And I would love for every restaurant to do this so that it can be quick for me.
Love it.
So that's it. More we need. One of the things I think, because I sent this a couple of people just to show them, it highlights how fast you can build an agent. I literally built this in like an hour. Like it was not hard. It was really quick, not hard, and that wasn't like a made up. Like you can see, go look at the GitHub repo. It wasn't just this made up, stubbed out, typical chat bot. We're like, oh, we stub all this stuff out because the intelligence isn't there. No, it's just here's a database. Here's what you care about. This is what I want, and it can use those tools and go through it and craft a response. It's great. So,
well, and you forgot to say it was fast, but it only took an hour because of Agent 2A. I think that's what you forgot.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Sorry, yeah. And let me put my sales hat on. Yes, if I would have tried to deploy this, in containers, ECS, right, on AWS or whatever, yeah, it would have taken me like
take 2 or 3 more days.
Just to get it deployed, right? Exactly. The YAML file nightmare would have been enough to, I'm never going to work on this little prototype. So,
yeah. So a quick thing while working with this, sorry, with this lens is that it's like they're also like multilingual. So I'm sure you can also ask it like in Spanish or even Chinese. And about the deployment, so the demo that I did on the email, I did it like 20 minutes before the meeting. It actually took me like literally 5 minutes to deploy it. So anyway, go ahead, Bobby.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice. That's great.
I wanted to say to that point, I have one more agent demo to sneak in if you guys are good with that.
Nice.
Go for it.
Going for the last
Bobby's
minute.
Columbo over here. Just one more thing. Just one more thing.
It's like Steve Jobs style.
Yeah, sorry. I was hacking on this right before, so I needed to make it work. So what an agent I worked on earlier this week was this agent to help convert my handwritten notes to Markdown. It's a pretty simple agent, but again, it was super easy to spin up with Agent 2AD. So I'm going to click this open on phone real quick, and it's going to generate this QR code for me. And then let's pop over to my phone real quick. I know that picture's embarrassing. I'm just rolling with it. It's okay, guys. So you can scan this QR code here, and then you can open up this on your phone and snap a pic. Let's see, send to the computer. Fingers crossed. Okay, let's convert to Markdown. Notes. Boom. And look at that. This is my notes for the preview environment stuff, actually.
That's awesome.
So again, this is a relatively simple agent, right? It's doing something pretty simple, but one thing that's really cool about this is that all of this is done on Agentuity. One rule that I like, since this was kind of a more simple POC, right? I was like, okay, I'm not going to use anything outside of Agentuity. So you really can deploy whatever you want here. So, and very quickly.
Even the web page?
Okay, there's a
the
little
web
hacking
page?
going. There's a little fudging going on. The web page is not quite there yet. I'm going to try to use the buckets once we get those able to be public, and I think I could do the web page too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as far as authentication and all of the API requests that generate in the QR code and all the KV stuff that's going on, all of that is on page.
That's awesome, man. It's really cool. It's a really practical use case too. That would have been hard to build even a year ago. You know,
Yep.
just the whole image recognition and all that. I mean, geez.
Yep.
It's really, really cool. All right. Well,
Sweet.
with that, anybody else have any Columbo moments? Any sneak in? You know,
One more thing.
one more thing. All right. Well, everyone have a wonderful week, and we will see you next week. See ya. Bye.